must be good merge. All right. All right. Oh man, we've been busy. Which one would you like to see? Number 8.
Like that hack or something.
Something's been
I'm like,
moving,
I'm on it.
so-
Trust me. Yeah.
That's the one? Oh! Okay. I'm gonna bring this down because I'm too short.
I know it's one.
All the way up there. Okay. I'm gonna get my calculator. I'm gonna need it. Okay. So let's start with the first part of the binomial here, and we're just gonna distribute that. We're gonna do this whole bit, remember? So let's go 5 times 25. That's gonna be 125.
Yeah.
So 125. When I go to this middle one, it's gonna be 5 times 5, which is negative 25, third root of 2, and then that's just, oh, that's not enough. So that's going to give me on this end a positive 5, third root of 4. Third root of 4. So I'm done with the first one. I'm going to do it again with the other part, which is this one. So here, I'm going to get a positive 25, third root of 2, correct? And then when I multiply here, that's going to give me a negative 5, third root of 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. And then moving up here, that's going to give me a positive third root of 8, right?
Yes.
Now here's the cool thing. These two inside are opposites of each other, aren't they? So that's gone, and that's gone. So what you have is 125 plus 2 for a total of 127. Because the third root of 8 is simply 2. Yeah, if I go 3 and I do the prime factorization, you'll see that's 2 times 2 times 2. So I have a set of 3, gets to come out, we good to go. I just did want to add something to the question that was yesterday. When are you going to use this? If you ever end up using this for real, it will never be this easy. Numbers in real life are not nice whole numbers. It will never, you'll never be like, oh, you know, check it again because you didn't get an integer or a whole number. Their math is not nice in the real world. Yay.
Oh, thanks. What did you say?
I'm just saying, this is the truth. Was there anything else you want to see, Star?
I think that was it.
Cool. All right.
I kept getting like 9/3 or something. I don't know how.
9/3?
Like 9/3.
Something.
Something, yeah. I don't know how to do that.
I just, when it's like this, I try not to do it in my head because I get overconfident. And just step by step, make sure it's clean. You know what? I should check it. It might not even be right. Right? When you make mistakes too. It looks pretty right. Hip hip hooray! Awesome. You guys ready for the next part? Then we'll continue with the lecture, finish it up?
Yeah.
Awesome. So the last thing that we needed to do on our presentations was to slideshow. Okay, so here's the next. What are we calling this? The next fraction that has radicals in the denominator. We have to rationalize this, right? Before, we were just using the nice idea of multiplying by the identity. We're still going to do that, but we have to get kind of creative with how we pick that one, you know, something over itself. And what we have to do here, you guys have notes for this, please? Thank you. So the way we have to go about this is being creative. Now, I know that if I just multiply by the same thing again, I'm just going to get more radicals, aren't I? Okay? So, at the very beginning of this presentation, I had you guys doing multiplying conjugates, right? You guys remember that? It's like the same thing, except the only thing that was different was the middle one, right? And the cool thing about that was that I only had to multiply the first two and then the last two. First two and the last two. And if you think about that, if I kind of take that idea on here and say, well, if I multiply by the conjugate of this, well, here's what's going to happen. I don't have to worry about the middle stuff anymore, do I? So I just have to go square root of 2 times square root of 2, which is the square root of 4, right? And I'm going to take away from that square root of 13 times the square root of 13, which is the square root of 169. Well, I know that the square root of 4 is just 2. And the square root of 169 is just 13. So problem solved. So the way I choose that 1 is going to be simply using a conjugate. Okay? So when I choose 1 here, I need to make sure that it's the same thing here like that. So as I clean up the end, I see that my denominator is just going to be a negative 11. Does that make sense? Sha. And then all we have to do is clean up the top. So if my denominator in this case is a negative 11, I'm worrying about the top now. Let's see here. I'm going to have to distribute. So 7 times the radical 2. So 7 radical 2. And then 7 times that radical 13 is negative 7 radical 13. I can't really do much with that, so it's good to go. Good stuff? No notes?
I told you it doesn't help me. I don't look back at them.
But it helps when you write it down. At least you've seen it once or twice.
No, if I do that, like, I won't pay attention, like, if I'm just copying it.
You just made my point, but then you can copy right after I'm done. Now you've seen it twice in 2 different ways. But that's the point that I make right there. Like, there's people that want to take notes as I'm writing everything, and then you just missed everything because you're too busy writing. I like to fail multiple times. I like it so much I want to do it again. Well, some of us don't, right? Anybody in here know how to use one of these things? An EpiPen? Well, you have to remove the lock first. When it comes out, take out the blue part, and then it's ready. It should be ready to go. It's gonna be in my backpack in case I start to die. I have random allergic reactions, and I had one a couple weeks ago. No, we heard about it. I got cold. The allergy marks on the I'm like, all right. Hey, dude. You know they cost like $300 each.
They're actually really nasty.
Yeah, we gotta pay for it.
They're Cheerios.
I've been thinking about that because I have well, my wife has a cousin who's pharmacy.
I'm not kidding. Like, I don't know why I got this kind. You really want to try
They're not that cheap over here.
They're apple.
Hey, Epi is the same, right? Epinephrine is epinephrine. But there's that other company that's making them really cheap now as well. And because they make you buy them in pairs.
It's like weird.
You can't just buy one and carry it with you. No, you need to have one at home and one at work.
They're gross.
Yeah, but you can just transport it. If you're going to have it in your you don't know when, right? So does it make sense to always have it with you? So why would you want to leave one at home and leave one at work? What if you have an allergic reaction in that car? Then that means you need 3 of them, right? Strap them across like a bullet bill.
Just in your
I
office.
like it there now. I like it there.
All right, cool. Here we go. All right, so here's probably the worst case scenario. as an example. Okay, and really, this is kind of like one of the worst things I've seen is where they've got a binomial radical on the denominator and a binomial radical in the numerator. See, that's not math.
It is not. It just
Oh my, that's egg on my face.
My fingers hurt.
Alright. Hey, did somebody forget something in here?
What is it?
You're like,
Some type of a memory
What are you
storing
doing
device?
now?
Well, I don't want to just like, because if I say, can you describe it? Well, everybody knows what it looks like now, right? It's
Well,
a-
you
it's
still
a-
I don't know why you held it up then if you're going to show it.
I was going to show it, but then I was like, no, don't show it. It's a memory device. See if you're missing one, and if you could tell me what it is and describe it, then okay. It's for storing stuff. It's a what do you call it? Removable media. Removable. No, I'll just say removable media. All right, let's get here. The square root of 2. What's it gonna look like? Plus the square root of 7. Same thing up here in the numerator. And our grunt work begins. Now, the nice thing about the bottom, that it's just going to be 2 minus 7, right? I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, don't make it worse for yourself. So, that ends up being negative 5. Now, the numerator part's the one you're going to want to focus on. That's the one that gets go. Bleh. Bleh. Okay? All right, cool. I'm going to just work it over here because that's kind of high for me over there. And I'm vertically challenged. Okay? Oh, donuts. I haven't gone to Dunkin' yet. No, I'm gonna pass. I need to watch. I have too much sugar in my blood.
I forgot to eat dinner last night.
I have to be careful.
I literally forgot to eat dinner.
Yeah?
Yes. That's how busy I was.
Wow.
Doing your homework.
That is really busy. Ah, ouch. Thanks, dude.
I'm just kidding.
It's okay. Radical 6. I don't feel so bad because I didn't assign a lot.
I know, I was just kidding. I did in class. I did.
Okay. Even like I'm even learning as I go on. Like from the beginning, I never gave you guys more than 30, right? And now they're becoming like 10 to 15 instead of like 15 to 20. Because like, really, do I really need to beat this horse to death? Right after like. You know what? I'm gonna make one special homework for you that's like 50 problems. What? You have to do them in order for it to help. All right, so here's that part. And then 5 times 2 is going to give you a radical 10. And then the last one is going to give you positive radical 35. Now, just looking at those, none of those radicals have roots, right? So that's the numerator. As Rose said as it is. That's the numerator. Huh? It's disgusting. Oh, well. Just remember that's all over negative 5, right? Hey, but at least your denominator is an integer. Polito, you're not getting this? You're not understanding it? I guess not. Never mind. I'm seeing it. That was actually kind of scary.
What?
Is he pulling my chain? Are you pulling my chain?
Yes, he is.
Okay, alright, that's funny now. Thank you. But okay.
I don't know, it starts at 6. Like, really big.
Oh, uh-oh. Ándale, ándale, mami. Yeah. Oh. He had some catchy songs, huh? Do you remember the Air Force One song?
I'm gonna start wearing a bandage.
A bandage across your cheek? Why did you do that? Did you have a scar? Or you just did it for style? Trying to cause a trend.
I keep saying the wrong word.
Stopping in my Air Force Ones.
Why are you trying to? You depressed?
Thank you, sir.
Ugh.
Okay, it's fine.
Oh, here's what they did. They put all of this in parentheses and kicked that negative to the top. Do you see it? Can you see it down there, barely? They put parentheses around it and they kicked the negative to the top.
Would it be the same answer? Like,
It's the same thing.
It's the same, it doesn't matter?
Mathematically, no.
so if we did like, if we had a problem like that on the homework.
Well, let's punch it in. Do you want to see what it says? Oh, we can't. That was from the
That's
example.
okay.
That's a neck.
Yikes. So would we?
All right, cool.
Take an apple.
Well, they're the same thing. This one's actually easier than the last one we did because the numerator is just an integer, right? So when I look at this, what this is right here, let me just talk about that real quick. All that's saying is that k can't be z, right? Because then you would just have two of them, and you would have 2k or 2 root z, and then you can't have them be zeros because then that would make the 0 plus 0 makes 0, and the denominator would be 0. Therefore, the entire fraction would be irrational. Or sorry, undefined. So here we're just going to multiply by root k minus root s, square root of k minus, square root of z, and our denominator is simply k minus z. And in the numerator we've got 2 radical k minus 2 radical z. And there we go. Right, wasn't so bad. It's just letters. They're just letters. They're little
Wait.
placeholders.
Don't change it. Not yet.
I doubt that. I really doubt that. I bet you I could probably figure out something that was dumber than that. Oh no, the word was
Shoot, it's minus.
You good? Did it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
I'm just.
But you're not good yourself. You're like,
Then to actually, it's emotional.
you're hungry? I'm
Do
sorry.
you want a donut? No, I want Chick-fil-A. That's what I'm hungry for.
I like their, the one with the pepper jack cheese.
Spicy.
It's the spicy one with the pepper jack cheese. Those actually look cool, dude.
I get the same thing.
You should just rock those like regular sunglasses.
You don't even need this around your head, they just.
We got something going on over there. That looks cool. You look like a comic book character, like one of the evil ones that would be like, I will destroy you. Oh, that's even wickeder. Can I say that? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Wickeder? You are more wicked. Okay,
She said his full name.
last objective I believe here, wickeder, is to write radical quotients in the lowest terms. The lowest terms. So we've got this, right? Nice thing here is that we don't have a, how do I say, no irrational denominator, right? And all we have to do is simplify this. Now, what you're looking at right now is a compound fraction. It really is just they took two fractions that had the same denominator and they just put it together, right? If you think about it, like if you had 1/3 plus 1/3, doesn't that become 1 plus 1/3, aka 2/3? Right? Does everyone agree with this statement? So what they're showing us over there is this form of the fraction. They didn't combine the two at the top because they're not like terms. 1 plus 1/3? This is just a separate example to try to explain what that means.
Like, what is?
No, that's not that. Okay? So, here's what I'm going to do. I can treat it the way it is right now, or I can break it up again. What do you guys want to do? We can work with it the way it is, or you can break it up. Now, personally, I would work with it the way it is, and if I need to break it up, then I will.
Okay, do that.
Okay?
You can't
So-
just divide them all by 2.
Exactly. That's the point. All three of these numbers are divisible by 2, So that would become 12 minus
4,
4.
4. It only divisible by 4.
Okay, do you want to go with 4 then?
Yeah.
That's cool too, because we would just do it again, right? So if we divide all of those things I underlined by 4, we would get 6 minus 9, square root of 3, and then 4. Correct? Is that correct?
Wait,
Wait,
where's
why
that
is
3
it
from?
square root of three?
Is it square root of 7 or 3?
Oh, sorry. What? I don't know why I put 3 there. I don't know why I put 3 there. I apologize. I really have no idea. My other self was taking over. Okay, now here's the deal though. This is still not in lowest terms. I mean, I know that this can't be simplified, right? But those two can, can't they?
Yes.
So at this point, I'm going to have to split it up. So 6/4 minus 9 radical 7 over 4. This right side is okay, but the left side is not. What does the left side become? Yeah, so 3 over 2 minus 9 radical 7 fourths. And this is the lowest possible. Okay. Now put a 7 in there again? Yeah, good. Checking for that 3.
That's like an R.
Yo, Adrian. Looks like the radical sign?
I know, I just put an R.
That works. R for radical.
Okay.
Ah. Not so bad?
Not so bad.
Not so bad. Those are really cool.
They're Jake's.
They're, oh.
And there's some. How many wires in the truck?
Can I change this?
I'm hard to the teeth.
No, you're wrong. Okay, moving on. Let's see here. That radical 32 is going to have to be simplified. Okay, and we can do our thing over here. So the square root of 32 is 2, 16, 2, 8, 2, 4, 2, 2. I got 2 sets of 2. So what we're looking at is 2x plus 4x square root of 2 over 6x. Okay, give you guys a second. That does make it easier, huh? Right there. It makes my teeth dry though.
Do you still play guitar?
And the vihuela. My little Mexican ukulele.
It's just like that. You believe that?
It sounds better than that. But.
Is it just like a small guitar or what?
No, it's the way it's shaped. It looks like a small guitar except the body. You know how the back of guitars are flat?
Yeah.
These have a panza. They have like a stomach that's round. Munoz. Tech. Dial Tech. TECH. Okay, so simplifying this, I know that all the x's would just make 1, wouldn't they? Correct? And then they can all be divided by 2, so you're going to end up with 1 plus 2 radical 2 over 3. Do you need another dozen of bobby pins?
Yes, they're falling apart when I'm sitting down.
I used to think like, man, how do girls do that like with their hair? Until I figured out they wear like 100 bobby pins to hold every hair in place. I'm like, okay.
Because if you don't, like half of it will fall out, and one bobby pin will.
I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying I always thought it was like, man, you know, kind of just happens type thing. But I was a kid, so I was naive. But
Maybe they're true.
yeah. Okay, cool.
Run.
Questions on this?
That's scary.
No? Christopher Corbin? That sounds dope, dude. Don't hate on Christopher Corbin. We're done. That's it.
Katie, I put homework so I can get it done before Thursday. It's Friday. No, you can't start giving homework out on Fridays and you have to do it before.
Says who?
You did.
I said that?
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah, bro.
Did I stop it before or after?
After.
Shake my fist at you. No, but I would have done it anyway because I had said that. I just wanted to
I
remind you
would
guys.
not get it done.
I don't
I
think-
honestly, I'd probably do it when I don't.
So that leaves two sections. Guys, scooch out. That leaves two sections, which is 6 and 7. That leaves for Monday, Tuesday, review Wednesday, test Thursday.
You said test Friday the 16th.
Well, you have 2 tests next week. I also said that. You have chapter 8 test, which is this one, and then you have your written final. So, I'm asking, you guys not want to do the review day? So, do section 6, section 7, and go straight to test, which means you have to do study plan on your own, and which a lot of you have been, right? Because you want that 5% extra. As long as it's done,
Why do we do short final next week? Why can't we do the week after?
because that's actual finals week.
Isn't there like 4 or 5 days of school?
Yeah, but I have to grade them by hand.
Why do we
Because
get out
they're
of
written.
school the day before Christmas?
I pushed it as far as I could.
You know,
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of math teachers that are doing their finals
okay, the
today.
entire week is dedicated to Christmas. I'm math. How am I supposed to mentally prepare for Christmas if I get out on the 23rd? That's Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve.
Let's just talk about
It's today.
What are you talking about? What are you gibbering over?
We've never gotten out this
Oh,
long.
did you
We
go?
don't get out the 20th and the 22nd. Exactly. So Christmas week thing. You have the entire week to mentally prepare to deal with your family. And I don't have that week.
Why would you have to prepare to deal with your family? That's your family.
So dead. I love them.
But you have to prepare for them.
2 days.
You grab my water?
2 full days.
Jacob doesn't know how to
Yeah.
flip.
It's a lot to like go.
It's a lot to go
It
spend
just
time.
takes a lot of effort. Because, you know, you got the crazies, you got the mentally unstable. You got
I know someone that does this. Oh, yeah.
Hold on, I haven't stopped this.
Yeah,